for Brew. Meanwhile, news out of New York breaking this afternoon. Russ is out. Dart is in. Is the Hall of Fame now out of reach? And finally, well, it's Tuesday. Can Patrick Mahomes move up his namesake segment after a fall from the top of Mahomes Mountain? Alongside Nick Wright, I'm Kevin Wildes.
Yeah.
Brew, are you feeling a little bit better after the Open? You kind of
still have some marks on your face that we might need to address.
I mean, it's like
somehow. I don't know.
I haven't been beat up like that in a long time.
Good. I imagine it's been a while.
Usually I beat myself up.
Yeah.
This time I just got
different.
beat.
Yeah.
Just flat beat up.
We're starting with no sandwiches, but the Ravens did get rolled.
Yeah, good job.
Thank you. Lamar was sacked 7 times as the Lions offense ran all over the Ravens, racking up 224 yards and scoring on drives of 96 and 98 yards. Here's Lamar.
I feel like week 1 was a wake-up call. You know, not just this loss. Week 1 was a wake-up call. Last week was a wake-up call, you know, because we started off slow last week. And, you know, we got beat tonight. You know, Lions had a great game plan. I feel like offense and defense for those guys played great. We just got to find a way to win.
Brew, is it time to worry?
I mean, I feel like the Chiefs, they're going to make the playoffs. They'll probably win their division because it's a bad division, and we'll see what happens against the Chiefs. But they're SBOB. And for that, I wouldn't worry this too much. There's still 14 weeks left in this regular season, but I'm very concerned.
Thank you.
That defense, we talk about the Bengals defense. We talk about the Cowboys defense. They're not that bad. I know you got a chart, and we'll see where they're ranked, and they've played 2 of the best offenses in the league in Buffalo and Detroit. But that ain't a championship defense. I mean, and I'll tell you, and Nick, I was serious when I said after week 1 that they are the only team that can beat them is themselves. Detroit beat them yesterday.
Yes.
Detroit beat them. And look, it wasn't a blowout, but they dominated the line of scrimmage. They rushed for 224 yards, all right? They only allowed the Ravens to get 85 yards rushing. That's the fewest amount of rushing yards the Ravens have had since Derrick Henry joined the team, since the season opener in 2022. That's 52 games they had rushed for more yards than that. And then last year, they were first in yards, rushing yards for offense, and first in fewest rushing yards allowed.
Yes.
And Detroit just came in there like Dan Campbell and pushed them around. And so that's concerning. Offensively, they weren't good in the red zone. They haven't been good this year in the red zone so far. Last year, they were #1 in the red zone. This year, they're like 17. So I expect that to get better. But it's kind of like if it's not one thing, it's another. Last week, the defense, it was the Browns, okay, but the defense was pretty good. This week, the defense fails you. The first week, Derrick Henry has a fumble. He's fumbled every game. I don't expect that to continue. But they are I know you think it's not good for them to face the Chiefs next week. I think that might be the best thing for me.
Oh.
Well, listen, I mean, maybe. I have to say this, a couple things on a tough day for you. This is one of the reasons I love working with you, because I get irrationally angry at what I think is I don't get mad at bad commentary or what I think is incorrect commentary. I get really frustrated at what I think is inconsistent commentary. And what you said at the front end, which is correct, just like you had said, even if the Chiefs had lost to the Giants, or one of these teams is going to lose next week, you wouldn't be writing either one of them off to make the playoffs and potentially do damage, I should say, for folks who didn't have that mindset, which have been rife across sports media, that the Chiefs are in a 5-alarm fire, to then come on TV today and be like, man, the story is Detroit's really good. When right now, the Chiefs in Baltimore both have played one bottom feeder and one in a different type of ugly game. For the Chiefs, it was ugly because the offense couldn't get going. For the Ravens, it was ugly because in that Browns game, they actually, I didn't think the Ravens defense was that good against the Browns. It was just opportunistic. But the Browns moved the ball, and they both have lost 2 kind of mojo-sapping games against 2 other contenders. But I will also try to be consistent and say I agree with you, Brew. I think the Ravens are fine when it comes to are they going to make the playoffs. I think they lose Sunday and be fine. They could maybe lose the week after, and I'd still be like, in the AFC, because it's really hard to find the 7 playoff teams without Baltimore and Kansas City being in. Fine.
You got at least 6 losses.
Right, exactly. Fine for the playoffs. But what I will not say is that the Ravens are fine. Like, I think they are fine for the playoffs. Lamar seemed pressed in the opening drive. Like, he played well, and then we pulled a montage of every time they didn't score a touchdown.
Oh, yeah,
they were coming off a win against a team that they rolled the last time they played, that plays in a conference that he always beats at home on Monday night, where you would he seemed pressed throughout. Obviously,
even on the field, he's looking, at the play call.
Exactly. He seemed stressed in a way. To be fair, the Chiefs have seemed stressed thus far this year, but the Chiefs weren't coming off a win by 3 scores. Like this was weird. Derrick Henry obviously flipped out on the lost fumble. I'm glad you're not attributing the loss to the fumble, because they could have won it had he not, but that's not why they lost.
Right.
And there's just a lot of weird stuff going on with Baltimore, and it all does really come down to this. Their defense is awful. And again, I will try to be fair. The Chiefs without their top 2 receivers, they're without Kyle Van Noy and Matabuke.
Yep.
Now, Matabuke, it's kind of a nebulous, scary neck thing, so we don't know how long he's going to be out.
He would have helped, obviously, against the run.
Yes, and Van Noy should be back. But this is what was so jarring. They got bullied. Those 2 95-plus yard drives running down your throat, the Lions, and I'm not being funny, did come in their house, put their feet up, and they did everything that had made the Ravens the Ravens.
Yep.
And for the Ravens now, Wilds, for the first time since Lamar became a starter, back-to-back games without 100 yards rushing. First time since Lamar took over, back-to-back games without 100 yards rushing. For them to, for the first time in a while, it felt to me like lose a big game without the self-inflicted wounds. I know Derrick Henry fumbled, but it felt to me like Detroit was in control of that game, and it was going to take. And I'm going to say one other thing about Lamar, because they showed it during the game, that Lamar averages less than 1 throwaway per game over however many games. Maybe throw it away a little more, or get back to running a little more. His refusal to get rid of the ball or take off and run really hurt him yesterday in those sacks. I know his numbers were great. I get all that. But the sacks were drive killers, and he took 7 of them.
I totally agree. His accuracy is incredible.
Incredible.
He made some throws that were just ridiculous, and he always does. But you're right. Like, some of those sacks where guys were tripping him up, if he had just taken off and ran, the old Lamar would have taken off and ran.
Correct.
And he's a great passer, so he's leaning into that, which I get. But he's got to try to find that balance, because he left a lot of yardage out there on the field where he was looking to try to extend the play or make it a pass, and he's going to have to run.
You think that was all Lamar, or I forgot who had the sack, but it was just a one-on-one Lamar, and they felt like they played a very disciplined
No, some of that
game.
was that, but some of it to me was, if I can quote my good friend and former co-host Chris Carter, what he would call where you think he went sacks, which is when a quarterback avoids a rusher and loops around him and then seemingly forgets that guy's still here. You know what I mean? Eventually he's going to come back. There were a couple where the guy who Lamar first avoided and ran past then caught back up to him and got him. But here's the other thing, KW, because this is a tough day because that side of the table's Ravens side. You picked him to go to the Super Bowl. What's the mantra you came up with?
Well, defense wins championships.
Defense wins championships. That doesn't feel like a championship defense.
Not last night, no.
And last year, of course, they were terrible early on. They got better, but I think they'll improve. But they're the Ravens. They will improve defensively. But you rarely, if ever, see them get pushed around like that. Well, I thought the Chiefs actually pushed them around pretty good in that AFC Championship
2 years ago.
But not quite like that. And so it's easier to fix the defensive backfield, which is what they did last year, than the toughness. And I'm not saying they're not tough, because they are.
Well, you're kind of saying that.
No, they know they got pushed around last year.
And speaking of, so here's the thing. This is not a Chris Broussard-ish team, because he doesn't like silly teams. They lost week 1 in silly fashion. You talked about the defensive backfield. Would you like to hear from a member of that defensive backfield on his podcast this morning that he released? Marlon Humphrey. Brew loves a great podcast from a non-champion player. Let's hear Marlon Humphrey this morning. Does he seem like a silly guy at times? I don't know. You guys take it from him.
Hello, guys. We are here at the Marlon Humphrey Show, and this is live, fresh off a Monday Night Football loss. You know, I feel like you always got to address the workplace just a tad bit. It was a rough evening. Usually you got an idea. This one is little lost for words.
All right, so Brew.
So don't do the podcast.
They're dropping.
I'm definitely not feeling podcasts the morning
hours after
a loss.
So they're dropping podcasts. They seem a little vexed on the sidelines. They've had some silly losses. They couldn't run the ball, and they got the ball run all over them. I hate to do this to you, Brew,
This is foul play.
but it does feel like...
He thought it was going to be
Now that's a bridge too far. That's a bridge too far. As much as I love the Breakers.
Bro, I knew
y'all see this, Ravens? Y'all see this? Do something about this. Next week in Kansas City, do something about this.
Bro.
Because I will have some red-clad breakdancers out here if y'all do.
Well, I mean, they got run all over.
They did.
It was up and down the field.
That's not their character. That's not who they are. That's not where they live. It was just it just happened.
Oh, wow, they're still going. That was good. Wow. Hats down. Wow.
Wow,
Bro,
okay.
I'm just saying, there are a lot of similarities to these and some teams we usually don't think are championship contenders.
That's all right.
Fellas,
all right, y'all.
Phenomenal as always.
Got a week to get it straightened out.
We can keep going, KW. There's no banner to drop.
I thought there was a
banner.
On the other side of the ball, the Lions have bounced back in a major way after their week 1 loss. We thought the coordinator turnover could hurt, but they responded by blowing out the Bears and now rolling the Ravens in Baltimore. Let's check out the vibe in the Detroit locker room. Take a listen.
All right, man. Great win. We did exactly what we said we needed to do. Play complimentary freaking football, man. When we needed it most, every phase picked up the slack, man. That's how you win games against teams like that, man. And now you know what the barometer is like on the AFC.
Ooh. What did the Lions prove last night?
Swagger fully back.
Yep.
And
you think?
This is the most points they have scored in back-to-back games since the Bobby Lane days. So in at least 60 years. I actually didn't check if it was Bobby Lane.
Points.
I mean, it was 90. They've scored 90 points. They never did that in the Ben Johnson era. So